This one might be a long one, so you might want to get saddled in. This one's geared more towards the ladies, if there's any listening. Most likely not. I mean, realistically, why the fuck would they listen to anything that I have to say? But yeah, this is going to be sort of a insider knowledge here, some esoteric lore about men. A lot of the shit that you girls do that you think are cutesy or whatever is just not going to attract a man. It's just not going to. Like, you know, women are the ones that are doing the eyeliner and like all this other shit, and oh, that just sounds so stupid because that makes no sense. What I mean is, like, women are doing that shit for each other. You ladies are all doing that shit for each other. Men, on the other hand, we don't like getting scammed. We do not like getting scammed. So, like, if there's a woman with a pound of fucking makeup on her face and then she takes it all off, we feel like we just got scammed. We feel like we bought a car. Now, this is kind of a fucked up analogy. Okay, please, ladies, do not click off. Yeah, you feel like you bought a car that the owner was saying, there's no rust, I promise, there's no rust. And then the whole bottom part of it is just shitting out on the highway. Right? Like, dude, your muffler goes flying back there, it kills a family of 4. You know, like, that's what it feels like, right? You know, you girls all do the same shit with, like, outfits too, right? Where, like, your outfits are all geared towards women, which is sort of, I actually had this conversation with my mom the other day. We were on a ride, or on a trip over to get some food, just to bring it back to the house. And she's arguing with me, of course, about this, because I said to her, okay, look at animals for a second, please, if you don't mind. Let's look at some animals. Birds are a great example of this. The men are the colorful ones, and the females are the ones that are gray. Now, that is because they are geared for the opposite sex, meaning that, you know, the females are looking for the bright, colorful ones, and then the men are looking for the ones that are slate gray, right? Like, that just makes sense. So what's funny is we've kind of flopped the roles or flip-flopped the roles in human society, where the women are like, oh, well, of course I'd love to see a beautiful dress on myself, so the men must want to see, or, you know, I don't know. It's I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of parallels, of fucking course. I mean, yes, of course we're gonna love a dress on you, right? But what I'm saying is all this like weird random shit that, you know, girlies are following trends or whatever. You know, that's not it for us. That's not it for us. We sort of like, I know for me personally, I like a classy woman. I like a classy woman, a woman that dressed uniquely to herself because she is uniquely herself. Now, that comes in many forms, right? You can have women that, you know, wear baggy styles of stuff and it looks great on them, right? Because it's them, it suits them. Or you have women that, you know, I don't really want to say skin tight, but rather fitting clothes. I think fitting clothes look great on a woman, right? It's just really odd that, I mean, we structure our society in a way that is like, you know, men are wearing the blues and the grays and all that shit, but like women obviously are not looking for that, correct? I mean, maybe I'm mistaking something here. But obviously, yes, I don't think guys should be going out with like flamboyantly gay, you know, rainbow jackets or whatever, but like, you know, all of our shit's kind of backwards. Like I said, like the women are the ones that are like, oh, this guy's gonna like me because I'm doing a trend, whereas guys are like, we don't give a fuck, dude. We don't give a fuck. We're not following trends, and the guys that are following trends are gay as hell, bro. No, they're like fake fruity. Boy, you fake fruity. Like they just are. You know, they're so, I don't know, man. It's just not it. And you ladies have to know that too, right? Like, this is why I say this, is because men also do not like the women trends of, I'm saying this from my perspective, but I know my perspective is actually very average when it comes to the women that I prefer, right? Like, I'm not one crazy side of the spectrum and I'm not another. I'm like just the average guy. I'm the average guy when it comes to women, right? You know, I'm not looking for somebody who's like overly like into trends or like got to get a matcha latte every Sunday, or like, just every fucking day of the week they come in with these cups that are glass with ice in it, and then they got to spin a straw around 50 times. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that, okay? We like a woman that's nice, right? We do, and kind and caring and really being true to themselves. That's another thing, is that, like, it sucks because other women have conditioned you girls to think that, like, if you stand out above a crowd, other women hate you for it. And that is so fucking annoying from a guy's perspective, seeing that, because clearly we want you to be yourselves, because if you're not yourself, then we're going to get scammed, right? This is what I was saying before, is that we're going to get scammed because we're going to think that you're one way, and then you're an entirely different person, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to be yourself, but then you get beaten down by other women. It's like, sometimes, man, as rough as it is, ladies, sometimes you got to kind of push away from them, because this might just be from the man's perspective here, but we see a lot of times that if you're a single woman and your friends are single, your single friends are going to try to keep you single, right? Like, that's just what it seems like to us, because they're jealous of you, right? Like, realistically, they're jealous of you. And if you have good friends, they're going to want you to try to, they're going to want to try to set you up. Like, meaning, like, they're going to want to, if they have a boyfriend, they're going to try to set you up with a boyfriend or whatever. That's if you have a good relationship with your friends. But, oh man, it's just so, like, fucked all around, because from the guy's perspective, we're looking for things that are unique to women. Now, what I mean by that is, like, we don't care if you have a hobby that's weird, right? Like, that's not, like, very rarely there are men who are like, oh my gosh, her hobby's Legos, get the fuck out of my face. Like, that's not it for us, right? We want you to be happy. And I'm talking the real men here. I'm not talking these, oh my God, I really want to use some words right now. I've used it before in another video, but that's because I was out in rage. These flag people. so retarded of me, dude. These flag people. And now, obviously, I'm not talking about the gay types. I'm not one to call a gay person a flag person. But, like, you have these dudes that are just, pieces of shit, man, that fuck up your entire flow. And then you lose interest in your hobbies. You lose interest in who you are. You get lost. I mean, I see it all the time. I look at my mom, and my mom, granted, yes, she was like a boss girly type, which, ladies, you're going to hate yourself in 40 years, right? You are. You're going to hate yourself in 40 years if you're in your 20s, or you're going to hate yourself in another 10 or 20 years when you come back to an empty apartment because you want to be a boss girly, a boss bitch, and there's nobody there waiting for you because you pushed all the men away that would love you. So stop doing that. And you can do that. It is of your free will, but I'm guaranteeing you that you're going to feel lonely in those years of your life. And then you're going to be miserable, and then you're going to take it out on younger people, younger women, and then you're just going to push the cycle onto younger women who maybe are trying to get into a relationship. So please don't do that, okay? We got to cut the cycle where it is. We can't let it keep going. But yeah, my mom. So, my mom was a bit of a boss girly when she was younger. But luckily she was a kind woman. But yeah, she fell for a man that is just clearly retarded, right? And I'm not even in the sense of, like, he can't do anything. Like, there's a lot of stuff he can do. I mean, he was flying multi-million-dollar jets for most of his life, dude. Like, he did that shit for like 30 years or so. But my point is that just because he could do stuff externally did not make him a good person. Like, when he came home, he was, like, mentally abusive, and he still is mentally abusive to all of us in the house, man. It's just fucked all around. Like, we don't know who we are. I didn't know who I was for many years of my life because of that. I was second guessing myself and all this other shit. And, like, you ladies got to catch that. You got to catch that before you fall in love with somebody who's like that, okay? And here's sort of actually where I was going with that as well, is that don't be a doormat, right? Do not be a doormat. Because once again, I see that in my mom, where she's just like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then it reinforces bad behavior. Like, if your man that you're wanting to see, or whatever, there's some guy in your life, do not reinforce bad behavior. Now, you don't have to be a bitch about it, okay? But, if they're doing something wrong, be like, I didn't like that. Go back and fix it. Or, I didn't like the way you behaved. Please be better for me. And if your man really does have a heart, he will change, because he's hearing it from somebody that he loves, okay? And maybe I'll make a man's self-help video at some point. But for right now, this is just geared towards the ladies. I know you were probably waiting for me to start ragging on the guys this time, but not today. I just don't have it in me. It's kind of a dreary day out. You might hear some of the rain on the roof. So it's just like, fuck, man. I don't have it in me. Yeah. You ladies think that you should be a certain way, which is fine. That is fine, okay? But you sort of miss the point, especially if you're going to be looking for a man. Because, like, it's always so funny to me when I go on whatever YouTube and I listen to people talk about, like, relationships or, like, how things aren't working out. And the women generally, now, obviously, this might not be you. You might have lower standards or whatever. But, like, there are some women that have this fucking grocery list of things that goes on for a half mile long. And, it's just like, why even fucking have that? You're never going to find that person. You're just not. It's statistically impossible. Maybe keep the fundamentals of the individual. But other than that, get rid of a lot of the shit. You're not going to find things. He's not going to be a guy that grows his hair, his mustache or whatever, every day. Right? Like, it's full bloom. Like, if that's on your list, get rid of that shit, bro. You ain't going nowhere with that, okay? That's another thing. The ick, right? Like, don't throw a man out just because of one little thing. Now, if it's bad enough, right? If it's like like you're going to vomit, all right, you might have to throw the guy out. But, if it's just like, oh, I saw the way he was hitting a hammer or like using a hammer, there's something that's rust. I'm going to use another analogy here. Sorry. Your car is rusting out, right? Or, you buy a car, there's a rock in your disc for your brakes. There's like a stone caught in there. You don't throw the whole fucking car out, right? Like, you peel the stone out of the rotor and you continue on with your day. So, like, be a little bit more helpful to your man, okay? You just got to do... I know it seems lame because you just want us to all be perfect, and we're not going to be perfect. We all come with a little baggage, okay? Now, some of us come with more baggage than others, and if your man is weighing you down and you're trying to, like, help him out and he's just not helping himself, man, I hate to say this because, fuck, man. Like, I actually don't even know about that one. I don't. Because part of me is, if a woman had enough baggage and I loved her, I would absolutely help her through that. But at the same time, you can't help somebody that's not willing to help themselves. So, like, I actually do not know where I fit on that. Ladies, that is for you, okay? That is for you to figure out. I can't be the mind here. I'm going to go back a little bit more with the whole thing that, like, you ladies are batting for each other. So this is going... or rather, I'm talking about, you ladies are all doing things for each other, right? And if you're looking for a man, the man's not going to give two shits about how you and Sally are or whatever, like a team. Like, yes, we care about your friendships, obviously, right? Like, if somebody's being rude to you, we want to hear it because we want it straightened out. We are here to fix the problem. But if you're going to talk yourself in circles and be like, I don't know what to do, it's like, okay, well, then why are you telling us that, right? Men are genuinely, or generally rather, not genuinely, generally geared towards fixing an issue, right? So if you're just here to tell us your day and then be like, oh, I don't know what to do, it's like, so then why the fuck did you tell me? Right? Like, why would you just say that if you want me to worry too? That makes no sense. But yeah, as I was trying to say before, it's all like doing shit for your homegirls instead, because you can't really necessarily have both. You can't have a boyfriend and do like women oriented stuff. You sort of have to have 2 feet in both camps, which is hard. I get that. But you can't be like, I don't want to say overly feminine, because that's not necessarily true. I want to say you can't be like just too girl oriented, if that makes sense. And men are not necessarily, I know myself, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody who's going to be my mom. Just me as a guy, I'm not looking for somebody who's going to be my mom. I think that's kind of cringe. You know, I already have a mom. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't want you to help me with things, right? Because that's actually something we could fucking talk about here. So, I heard this a while ago that like, and this is so true from the guy's perspective. I never even thought of this, that guys do things that are team building exercises, right? Like we just do. Like women are looking for us to do things for them. Like, we're going to go out and plan a special date, or we're going to get flowers, or we're going to do something a little bit unexpected, but yet still somewhat being expected, right? Like you expect us to do things, and then you expect us to also be unexpected in what we do, right? Yeah, that part, but like men are looking for somebody who is compatible and teamwork oriented. So obviously, yes, you don't have to always be on our team, meaning like we're outside working or whatever, or we're doing whatever it is. You know, you don't always have to be a team player, but like that is at the core of what we want to do. Like we want to share our experiences with you, right? So like when we ask you to help us with something, or like we're saying, oh, we like the team building, right? Because we're guys, right? That's what it is. See, this is how you can tell that it's hilarious, because I've said this before. I have not been in a relationship in fucking forever. I haven't been in a relationship since I was in middle school. Now, exactly why the hell am I giving information on this shit, and like 90% of it I'm sure is wrong? I do not know. I really don't know. But I figured that like maybe I can give some perspective from men, like what I'm looking for, right? Because I just see so many girls out there that are like, why won't this person like me? You'd be surprised that we probably do like you. It's just that you placate and scam us. And then we're like, okay, well, why the fuck would I do that? Like, that's sort of the thing behind why like guys will just go and sleep with a woman and then ghost her. Right? Because a lot of the times we feel either like we got scammed, or, we were just looking for something quick, which is so, that's not me. That is not me. I've never been into hookup culture. I think that's gay. I think that's fucked up. We can't be leaving people with baggage, okay, as guys. Now I'm going to start talking about the guys. Yeah, dude, like, if you're a guy listening to this shit, bro, we cannot start saddling people with baggage, okay? We can't do that. I think that's evil. I think that's fucked. It is not of a good sound heart and mind. So don't do that, okay? And sometimes you got to fight your urge, like even if she's a pretty woman, okay? We can't be setting people up, because in a sense, women dictate the rules, right? So like obviously the women will be like, oh yeah, like, come sleep with me or whatever. But like as guys, we have to be the ones with the authority to be like, you're pretty, but why don't we wait until a few more dates, right? Like, why don't we wait? Because I'll wait. I have the patience, right? So we can't do that shit, okay? Because it's all these fucking simps and all these like I'm trying to be careful with my words here, but these fucking mooks, man, that are just obliterating everything. they're making it so hard for us because they're the ones that are paying for OnlyFans. They're the ones that are going out and getting, going to a strip club. Like, it's just all those types are the ones that are doing that shit and propping up the system that makes you women believe that you need to be a prostitute in order to get somewhere. And I'll be the first to say it. That ain't true. That's some horse shit, because look at all the people who actually have a meaningful relationship. And here's a good one too. Fucking, as I'm just thinking, this is a good one. You have these women that are beautiful, that are in a relationship, and they don't feel fulfilled. But it's these women that are not the most attractive ones. They're like maybe 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10 that are in relationships that actually have a healthy relationship. Like, I always find that to be funny, that, you have these really attractive people that are miserable because they don't know whether somebody likes them for them or likes them for their attractiveness. And then, the people who are like, mid-tier, they're just like, yeah, they're like either the ones that are getting all the action, or they're the ones that have the most successful relationships. Which is a whole nother point too. I heard this a long time ago. What I do sometimes is I put headphones in while I play a game, and I was playing this game called Hell Let Loose, and I was listening to this guy talk about women that are like 10 out of 10s and are classy are actually some of the most miserable people. And I was like, how could that, like, I was so confused. I was like, how the fuck can that be? Right? And as this guy was explaining it, I was like, wow, dude, that actually makes so much sense, because they think they are in the exact same boat as men, where like, we don't want to get scammed, right? So like, we don't know who is really our friend because of whatever, of our money, or of our possessions or whatever. So like, those really attractive women are in the exact same category, where they don't know if people are their friends because they're hot, or if people are their friends because, they're whatever, or like, they don't know if men like them because, it's like, a lot of times it's so funny. It's not even a bell curve. It's like a weird, cyclical curve, or like a sine wave, where like the women who are super ugly, the mid-tier women, and the women that are super attractive are the ones that understand the underpinnings of society, because they start to recognize that like, I shouldn't be all my looks, or like my looks have gotten me into trouble, or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe take the mid-tier women out of that. Maybe it's just the super ugly women and the super attractive women that are in that kind of category. Yeah, wow, I know that was such a fucking crazy tangent. But yeah, ladies, as a final message here, we want to love you for who you are, right? Like, I think that's my big thing, is I want to love a woman for who she is. Not necessarily what she can give me, or how attractive she is. Like, those are all pluses, but my underpinning fundamentals are like, who is this person? Who is this person? Because you should be setting your relationship up for compatibility, right? Because if you're not compatible with somebody, you're going to be miserable, dude. I literally see that in my mom and my dad. They are, at the core, my mom is obviously optimistic about things, but like, yeah, she's in a miserable relationship. She just is. With her husband. I see that every day. Like, she's just getting fucking beaten to the ground. And, I try to stick up for her, or I try to stand up for her, because obviously I love my fucking mom. But, it's just like, you have done this to yourself. You have done this to yourself. So really try to find a partner that's compatible and is open and is willing to be unconditional with you. Okay? And I know that's going to be hard, but the more you withhold from people, or like, meaning like, the more you're like, I shouldn't go into a relationship just because I want to feel loved, and you're like searching for people, eventually, if nobody's in the dating market looking for people, then they will start building upon themselves and start reflecting and start thinking. And then that's how we as a collective build up a better population, because our parents were stupid. Our grandparents were stupid. I mean, I saw that in both my sides of the family, where they just kind of got into relationships, and then the whole system was fucked, man. They just, my grandfather on my father's side was getting abused by his wife. And then my grandmother on my mom's side was getting abused by her husband. Like, you know, you really got to be careful on who you choose as a partner, okay? So, you know, just remember that for me, okay? It's going to be hard out there, but try to look for some better partners. I think my fucking hard drive's about to kick the bucket because it sounds like I have a fridge in here that keeps trying to, you know, when the fridges boot up, when they start like running cold again, that's what this thing sounds like, and it's kind of scaring me. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Hopefully that made some sense.